Hi, I'm sayakatcosplay and I can't see anything. I can't see anything. I don't have my glasses on. And also I have no chill because I made this yesterday. So I'm gonna show you how I did it. So if you would like to make a Jane Foster Thor helmet for yourself, this is the design from the trailer as far as I can tell. There's probably some stuff that is a little off, but we just had like 5 seconds max of still footage or footage from the trailer. So if you want to make this for yourself, I have a pattern for this in my web store. Links are down in the description box below if you'd like to make one for yourself. And I'm going to show you my building and patterning process. I will be finishing this up and painting it and making it look all pretty. And if you want to see other videos on finishing foam pieces, I have plenty of other videos on how I do that. And I'm going to get into how I made this. Can I do this? No. Well, now I can see, but it's a little awkward. First step in making this helmet is to make the base. I already had a base pattern from making a Wonder Woman helmet previously, so this was really easy. So I just took that old pattern out and traced it onto 6mm foam. I cut this out and glued it together to make my base. With the base assembled, I put it on one of my wig heads, made a fake nose out of a paper towel and tape, and put tape all over my helmet and over the nose section to start patterning out the pieces that I didn't have and pieces that I needed to add detail to, etc. This is pretty common for me. You've probably seen it in other videos if you've watched other videos of mine where I will use paper and tape to make a pattern to cut out of foam. So I just go ahead and do this until I'm happy with the pattern, take everything off of the base, and cut out new pieces of foam. With the pieces of the faceplate cut out and the detail added, the next step is to bend the nose section. This is probably one of the most important parts of the helmet assembly and building, is to make sure that there is room for the nose. So with my heat gun, I cut this out of 4mm foam. I just heated it up and bent and heat and bent. I did this a couple of different times to get the shape that I wanted for the nose. Instead of assembling this in multiple different pieces, I chose to just put 2 pieces together and then bend them. And actually you can cut this out as one piece if you want, and then just bend that piece. I find that this bending makes a more natural, smooth looking nose section, and you can make the bend bigger or smaller depending on the size of the schnoz. So this is something that is adjustable depending on the size of the wearer of the helmet. And you can see here, I just bent it into shape. And then once it's bent into shape, and I tested it out on my face, it gets glued onto the helmet. Watch out. To add the details into the rest of the base helmet, I ended up cutting out details and carving details into layers of 2mm foam and then gluing those over the base helmet layer. If you're doing this yourself, I would recommend gluing those 2mm layers to the 6mm foam before actually assembling the whole helmet. It makes it a lot easier. I was just doing it this way because I didn't have the pattern for those before I was making this. So do as I say, not as I do. Once those 2mm layers are on the helmet, I can go ahead and glue down the sides of the bottom of the faceplate and glue on the wings onto the helmet. The wings I'm cutting out of 4mm foam as a base, and then another layer of 2mm foam because there's a cutout on the lower section of the wing, and this allows me to just carve the details into the 2mm section along with cutting out that cutout and then assembling this and gluing it onto the helmet. To glue the wings onto the helmet, I actually used a marker to mark out where I was going to put the wings and then put the glue to make sure that they were in the correct orientation on the helmet. Make sure if you're gluing things to always mark where they're going to go and where the glue is going to go so that you don't have excess amounts of glue all over the place and you kind of know where the wings are going to go in their orientation, especially for pieces like this where it's the orientation of the wing is definitely going to affect how it looks on the helmet and how much of that wing you're going to actually glue onto the helmet, because it's not the full wing. I'm not going to glue the whole thing down. I'm actually only going to glue a little portion of the front of the wing down. And once the wings are on, the helmet build is complete and the next step is finishing, which I don't do in this video, but here is the finished helmet in all of its glory, or almost finished. I'm finishing it now. And I had a lot of fun building this. It only really took me 3 or 4 hours to pattern and build. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to build one of these for yourself, I have the pattern in my web store. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, do the things, comment, and I hope you stick around for the next video. See you folks in the next one.